Option B, you're in the Family Christian bookstore buying something, in line. You turn your head, and a lady cuts in front of you. And what you do next is you get out your taser, and you tase them. You laugh, but when cops show up at your store to have to write a report about this silly lady who tased another lady in line at a Family Christian bookstore because she butted in front of her, that was option B. I don't think Jesus wants us to tase people, guys. I don't think that's just what he would do, or beat them up, or harm them, or cut off their right ear, Peter. But I don't think that's the way he wants us to show gentleness. And choosing those options, don't choose option B. If someone near you has chose option B, then you can slap them across the head. Like Gibbs would do off NCIS. There we go. Knew I'd tie that in somehow. But the end of that verse, saying the Lord is near. In these times where we have to express this gentleness, and we find it really hard, some people can make it pretty hard to show gentleness to the world. But we should go to God. He's there for us, giving us comfort. He's there for us to, give us an idea to how to be gentle. The Lord is near to us. And I think that's what Paul used. I don't know how he did it, and what he did, but he knew that God was always there for him. And he didn't have to worry. The next verse, Philippians 4:6. Don't worry about anything. Don't be anxious about anything, but in everything, by prayer and petition, with thanksgiving, present your requests to God. I was growing up in middle school, and most of you actually know the situation, and wouldn't have got through it very easily at all. And I was a happy middle schooler. I was. But my mom got sick and hospitalized, and I did a lot of prayer during that time. And if it wasn't for Warrenton Christian Church and the support that you guys gave us, I did eat a lot of casseroles, but that's what church is all about. And thank you guys for all that. But people knew something changed in my life. When you think about, what it'd be like not to have your mother, because I thought at some point I was going to lose my mom. But somehow, I knew everything was going to be all right. That the joy that I have, that Christ gives me inside, I knew she had that too. And it's awesome. I didn't worry at all, because I just went to God with that request. And just into my life right now, direction, graduating from college, I think sometimes we think God is an inconvenience to us. And I hate when people think like that we can always go to God with anything. And just with my life right now, with direction, I don't have to worry, because I know God's got it in control. I don't have to worry about my pace, but I think we should trust him in God's pace. And he's there for me. Because any request I have, I can go to him. Just like, I'll give you an illustration. If you don't know the Dags, they used to be camp managers at the High Hill Christian Camp. They're now in New Mexico. They have a little girl named Morgan. And Morgan was 2 at the time, and they're down there in New Mexico, and they're about to pray over their meal. And, Carrie would say, cross your hands, or however they do it there, to pray. And this is what Morgan prayed. Hello, God. Thank you for my mommy. Thank you for my daddy. Thank you for my sister. Thank you for my other sister. Thank you for my chicken nuggets. Thank you for something else. Amen. And to me, would I ever think God would listen to my prayer over hers? No. Let me tell you, anytime you're in trouble, you're feeling down, go to God. He will always be there. Anybody who goes to God and presents requests to him, whether you're a Christian or not, he's going to listen. He's there for us. He's there. And this joy, this peace that I'm talking about, going on to the next verse, Philippians 4:7. Peace that surpasses all understanding, that I can't comprehend. I just can't get my mind around. It blows my mind. You should just think about it. How much we've been through, how much we've put through him through, but he still loves us. And he gives you this peace, like I had in middle school. Like I had when I'm having a bad day. I remember this joy I have, and it gives me peace. I'll tell you about this guy I went to college with, Chip Pagel. Now, in college, we had this class called Dynamics of Teaching Youth. Awesome class. The professor was one of my good friends, Professor John Michael Brown, and what he had us do was make lessons. We would speak, we would try to relate to youth, because that was the class was all about, which is awesome. Getting the opportunity to come preach in big church. My audience is quite different when you're preaching to a 50 junior hires, because you don't say things like, and I won't use their real names to protect their identity, but, hey, Bilbo Baggins over there, please don't put your ear in the other person's ear. Please don't put your finger in the other person's ear. Yeah, don't. I don't care if you found something in it. No, stop doing that. But just this Daniel was teaching you. Class. All right. What he had us do was have lessons. And we would give the lessons in the class. I volunteered to be the first one to go. I'm a good student. But I went up and I gave a sermon about Hebrews 2, about just how Christ is supreme and that we should not drift away because he's so awesome. Not even illustrations like dumb warning labels that people put on products that are just really stupid. And then I did illustrations about Finding Nemo, really related to the kids and all the college students there. But then my buddy Chip Pagel followed me, which I'm glad I didn't follow him. Let's just say that. But he got up and said, guys, I had been working on a sermon all week, been practicing it, but I'm not going to preach that sermon. Something happened to me last night, and I wrote a whole new one. And at that point, you're all just like, okay, I'm listening. You got my attention, Chip Pagel. Good way to go. That's introduction A, because you get to critique all the people. But we were all zoned in because we wanted to know what happened last night, which changed his life. But Chip Pagel, he works at a Payless shoe store. And he is closing. A guy comes in to get some ballin' shoes, some Shaqs, number 13s. I've had some before. But they didn't have his size, the guy. And it's like, oh, that's all right. And Chip Pagel, a very gentle person, he would just being very helpful, trying to find this guy the perfect shoes to give him the most lift, I guess, in playing basketball. But they didn't have it. So as the guy was walking out of Payless, he asked Chip one more question. Oh, hey, can I get some change out of this 20? And Chip Pagel, being a very nice person, would do anything for anybody. Sure, man, I'll give you some change. Well, the guy wanted a little more than change. Chip opened the register, and the guy had put a gun to his stomach. He said, give me all the money. And even at that time in Chip's life, he said this peace came over him. And even this person that had a gun in his stomach, he was gentle to. I don't know what that guy was thinking at that time, because he was wanting the $50 in the register. But Chip knew where he was going. Chip had this peace that he didn't comprehend it, but somehow the peace that overwhelmed him at that moment